onward to Wistoria, speaking
Yes.
of.
Yes. Let us move. Let us move on to Wistoria. All right. I'll just get right into it. Everyone buckle up. Again, not too many notes here. Not too much happened, but we're off with Wistoria, Wand and Sword, episode 6.
I'm the wand, you're the sword in this situation, Greg.
And it flashes back. We have a flashback of Will and Elfie, and Will is recalling Elfie talking about her dreams, and her eyes glittering like jewels, and she was so smart, and Will was so fucking dumb. And then Elfie tackles him in the tall brush, and she's like, I don't want to do it unless it's with you. And it's been 5 years since then.
He's talking about ascending the tower, not his tower, the tower. Sorry, let me specify.
And now he's going to where Elfie is, the tower.
Okay, this is the scene. In the manga, the panel is a little more zoomed out. Like in the show, they like go up from their waist upward. That outfit on Elfie in the manga is like see-through. She has the cover over her nipple, but like it is pressed against her body. And I was like, ugh.
Maybe it was just like a monochrome translation thing.
Right,
Maybe
you'd see it and you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna find it now. Now you're trying to.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's probably not like that bad. You know what I mean? And normally I go to sleep in something like that too, what Elfie's wearing. So, I mean, it's not really out of the ordinary for if you're just showing like candid shots of people in their sleepwear. I don't know if you should hold that against them.
Okay, whatever you say, Greg. Hold on, I know what I'm gonna do. I know how I'll find it. Yep. Okay. I was wrong. It's worse than what I explained it as. Okay. Just so everyone's clear, it's worse than what I explained it as.
All right. Well, go ahead and put it on stream.
This is what I'm talking about with this show.
I mean, it's not that bad.
Greg,
I mean,
she's fucking butt ass naked.
Is
I mean,
she?
she's wearing the cover. Look at the difference. This is a problem. This is a problem that I have with manga, anime, all of the stuff. Like, I'm good with this scene in the anime. I am not good with this scene in the manga. Like, that's unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't,
Right?
I'm really trying to find something to gaslight.
Are you trying to find the
with,
silver
but-
lining that's fucking flowing over her body? You fucking idiot.
Yeah,
I swear to God, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a manga reader. I can't read. So I probably can't see that she doesn't have clothes because I can't read.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going. Huh?
Let's keep going, Greg.
But it cuts to the kids, and they got their new drip, and only high mages are permitted to wear the colorless Gloria. But Julius is pissed at something. Liana asks Colette if the tower scouted her, and she said the Earth faction sent her a letter, and all the kids got some sort of missive to some faction, and Liana says Julius is the only one that hasn't been scouted. And Will. Like, everyone assumes Will's never gonna fucking have an advantage ever. So it's just assumed Will is always trash, and of course he didn't get scouted.
Yeah.
Wignall is like, hey, where's Will? And the storekeeper is like, oh, he came by earlier and already left. And Colette is like, oh, he's probably at Donan's smithy. Cuts to Donan, and he made Will a new sword out of his broken Moria blade and added a Whist gem, and it will cut through magic like before and can amplify the magic stored in the gems around the capital, and he calls it Whist Set Silver. So yeah, basically, like, you know, people just give you like $1 million swords made out of the rarest materials on earth just for free because my
He
name's
saved
Will.
the city, Greg.
Oh, well, good thing the dwarves like are appreciative of that. And everyone else apparently has already forgotten 2 days later that Will save the city. But
I will
whatever.
say, okay, hear me out. The tower is a separate government, basically. They don't give a shit about what happens down below. I mean, we've seen that Aaron, Masterius Old King, says he doesn't give a fuck. We have to keep the sky up. If we don't keep the sky up, it doesn't fucking matter if the city falls. So the colorless don't matter. Basically, everything is about your worth to what the tower needs.
Okay. But Donan is like, you're stronger than any dwarf, and we're all embarrassed. And Will is like, how much do I owe you? And he's like, don't worry about it. And then Will meets up with the other kids and they go to the tower and Clary lets them in.
You remember the movie Blood Diamond?
Yeah.
Dwarves are the slaves that are mining all the stuff. And so as they got saved, they were like, look, you fucking saved all of us, bro. We're going to make it happen for you because you, I think, are going to do something really cool with this. So here you go.
Like, was Will just saying that out of like courtesy? Because like, what would Will pay Donan with? Like, you are a country bumpkin that got a scholarship to the mage.
I would assume, okay, hear me out. So they said that the regalia that they're wearing is very expensive. I would assume he would be like, you can have the clothes off my back for this sword. Sell that shit.
But then I don't think he would have been able to go into the castle.
He probably wouldn't have, but he will give up whatever he can to save those around him.
Why even have money at this point? Because
I agree.
Like
also,
with magic, you can just make anything you want anyway. Like the hats that they made for like all of the graduates, like fucking Elfie's making it rain. Like, why even have currency when you can just make it?
I don't think this is a capitalist society, Greg.
Okay. But they take the elevator to the first floor, which is the colorless garden. And Clary says that when people talk about the tower, they're basically talking about this level. Clary is like, all mages want to be here, but whether you become a permanent resident is up to you. And Liana is like, are the sky and the sun real? And Wignall is like, nah, elven magic. And Colette is like, well, look at this. Look at all these crazy facilities. Look, there's a crepe shop. And then Liana lightning steps over there and buys 5 crepes and eats crepes. And oh, comedy relief. Here we go. Oh,
I thought that was kind of adorable. It was very funny to me.
Shion is like, hey, Will, you fucking idiot. That keeps saving us. The tower isn't what it seems. And then he just kind of walks off. And everyone is like, oh, look.
He only knows how to call him laggard. At this point, he's only been calling him that since they were children. So
it doesn't matter anymore. And then everyone is like, oh, look, the other high mages are looking at us. Everyone look. Oh, they're looking. They get to the gate of pruning in the pruning ceremonial hall. And there are mages from each faction there, including the dark mages. So now I don't know why Snape isn't in the tower. Colette is like, they look at us all scary. And then the Magiavander descend, and Wignall is like, oh, Eleanor, but she looks away. And Will is like, oh, Elfie, but then she looks away too. And then Kakarot is like, this is boring as fuck. Let's get this over with. And Clary, Logwell, and Kakarot have a stupid interaction that no one cares about. They start with the first bloom, and the mages that were scouted will be blessed with a color. And all the main kids get their corresponding colors, but Will and Julius did not. And their clothes don't change colors like everybody else's. And then, here we go. I have a note that says, the elitism in the anime is a turnoff for me, and even the Magiavander are like, all this weird-ass tradition and ceremonies and shit are useless, so why hasn't anything about mage society changed to just not do them, especially considering the situation with the celestial host they're in and the fact that the attack killed a bunch of people. Forced drama and despair that's too obvious for me to feel comfortable about.
Greg, we literally live in a world where billionaires exist and make choices and decisions for you. Where Utah, currently, Kevin O'Leary, buy out a data center plot that will raise the degrees of the nearby cities by an average of 5 to 7 degrees at nighttime, totally displacing the current wildlife in the area, potentially. And also only creating 750 jobs. But it is $1 billion data center from a Canadian that is coming to Utah, and he's now saying that the people that are protesting, the Utah citizens, are 90% Chinese plants, because the only people that wouldn't want this data center are Chinese plants. Okay? This is just what people with power do. They take advantage of the impoverished until they can prove that they are, whatever, useful to the billionaire class. Then they ascend. We're watching potentially the transfer from the old decision-making to the new decision-making of whether or not we should keep these pruning events and all of this stuff. That's all.
All right.
I know it's not fun, but like JJK has the same thing.
It's not the fact that they're doing it, it's the fact that it's like forced. So like with JJK, I don't have any issue with how JJK did it because it literally like set up the story. I feel like with Wistoria, the story is just all of this stuff is like convenience to push the story forward.
I would agree. I don't think that they're writing it well.
No, it's written terribly, which is surprising considering it's the same writer of Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon? But then now, even in the later seasons of that, I mean, the writing was pretty terrible. So maybe this guy's just getting tired and maybe you just got to wrap up some of this shit and take a break, man. Because that's my biggest gripe with the story. It's not even like the animation. It's not even like the characters, really. It's just the writing of the story and how the ride that we are all on right now is being controlled. And you know, obviously, like when you're on a ride or when you're like in a, I don't know, haunted house, like obviously there is like some idea that, you know, this is all fake. Like I'm not actually going to die in here. Like, you know, this guy with a chainsaw isn't actually going to fucking cut me in half. But on a good haunted house, like you still feel that way. And they basically like pull you into this world that you believe like this stuff is actually happening. But with the really shitty haunted houses, you're just kind of like, yeah, I mean, yeah, when you came out from behind that curtain, I just saw like 6 people having their lunch break back there and with their masks off. And I don't know, it's not really that scary. That's what I feel like Wistoria is. And I feel like it's just, we can move on from it now. Like, I get it. Right? I get the idea of what you're trying to push on to me now, where like everyone shits on Will. Will's literally the only person in the entire world that can save us, but we treat him like shit. And then we just continue to treat him like shit even after he saved us. So it's just more of the same without enough change between.
I agree. I think that the people in the tower would be allowed to treat Will because they don't know him and they don't really know what happened.
They all know him and they all know what happened. All the Magiavander were fucking standing there watching, jerking off with their screen as Will was soloing the Devander, a creature that could literally kill the Magiavanders. This Devander has killed Magiavanders in the past.
I agree. But I don't think the colorless, like at the bottom floor that are taking care of the livestock and shit, are under the impression that Will is this person. I'm saying the colorless view all of these kids walking into this situation as some of you are going to be down here with us. You're not going to make it. You might have we all passed the classes. We all got the credits. We all walked in here too. And so they have every frustrated part of them of being at the bottom rungs of these insanely powerful people. I understand what you're saying and I agree with you. I'm just giving some leeway to the other side of the coin.
But it cuts to one day earlier, and Alfie is mad at Sarissa, who is her aide, that she said she could scout Will if he ascended the tower. And she's like, look, I wrote all these love letters to Will, but he never got them because of you. And Sarissa is like, nah, it was Kroot. He is the lead colorless guy, and they said if Will can prove himself at the first bloom, they'll accept him. And then it cuts back, and they separate the colors from the colorless. And Clary said, colorless are fucking useless. And the other kids say, those who can't join a faction remain on the first floor forever. But Clary says, if you prove yourself, someone might recruit you. So this is the first bloom main event. Woo! And then they spawn a bunch of monsters. All the kids freak out and just get fucked. And Kroot is like, I give you Zoctonia, guardians created for the first floor, and fresh mages won't be able to defeat them, and they mirror mid-dungeon floor monsters. But Julius is fucking, and everyone is like, oh, he's good. And then Will starts fucking, and everyone is like, look at that guy fuck. And Julius shoots some ice, and it's deflected, and Will jerks off in front of Elfie and absorbs it and gets a fully charged Glaus Whis.
So many more screenshots. Greg, you're going so fast.
And then he casts Load Bust, and then Glaus Mill, and cuts up some monsters, and now everyone is busting, and that's how the episode ends.
That was so fast. There was a lot. There was some really cool animation in this episode.
Sure there was. It was a good episode, guys. Yeah, you should watch it. Look at him go.
Glaus milling all over the place.
Yep. I'm hoping this is the last time, because they literally said if
It's not.
Will can get past the blooming.
It's not, Greg. No, it's not. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
It's not.
Like, how many times does this Will have to fuck, dude?
How many times does Will have to prove himself?
No, does he have to fuck? How many times does
I know
Will
what you
have to
said.
fuck?
I'm translating it for other people.
It's time to stop now. Let's move on to the celestial host. Let's move on to, the mages with the mage killer blades. Let's all work together now and progress this story. If you're telling me the story is just, let's just shit on Will, even though he's literally batting a 1.0, fucking everybody. He's Shohei Ohtani. He's pitching. He's batting. Every game he plays is a no-hitter. Every time he's to the plate, it's a grand slam. And then they're just like, this guy fucking sucks. He's so bad. Like, why would I ever want this guy on my team? Like, oh no, I would never want him on my team. It's like, all right.
It's prejudice, and that is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
And that's kind of this show, is that we don't know yet what the swords are treated like. We don't know what the middle of the tower is. We don't know.
And I'm fine with that, right? That's okay. It's like, let's just get to that now, right? Like, we've established this, right? It's established that swords are discriminated against. Everybody hates Will because he's a sword. He's not a wand, even though, like, literally mages can't exist without swords.
Okay, hear me out. Here's how I feel like you make the story better. Don't have the tower be literally in the city that they're in. Have the country of whatever Wistoria is set in be covered. Have the tower be in like several cities beyond. Because if you're going to go this direction, for them to then all of these cities are now vying for children to get to the tower. You have a bigger scope. Not just this one city that's sitting below the tower. And then you have travel time. You've now passed this course in one of the most prestigious schools after these teachers were trying to get you to not join the tower. Now, this is the next part, is the journey to the tower. Have all of these situations where Will has to prove to the rest of the country that he's worth it, because everybody doesn't know who Will is. Just this one city he came from knows who he is. We already know by them saying that Rosti is from another city, that other cities exist. So by that, Will could have had travel time throughout this whole time, throughout this season, to get to the tower. And then once he gets to the tower, then you have like the last provable, like, these colorless mages don't know who you are, but we've heard about the things that you do. Then you can show us.
I agree. And the fact that this is basically a watered down, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon mixed with Harry Potter? Because you haven't seen that anime, but it's literally like the same setting. You have the town and then the dungeon is in the middle. And you go into the dungeon and then you get fame and you do shit and, like, you prove yourself in the dungeon. Now, the main character in that anime, it's a little bit of like the opposite. Like, he was a nobody. He got paired up with a nobody goddess. But then as he progressed through, right, now other goddesses and other families are like, hey, join us. You're cool. Like, you're strong. We see that, like, you have potential, ditch this goddess that is a big nobody sandwich and then, join our big family. And then we'll just kind of like mob out together. So it's a little bit of the opposite with Will. So it's basically the same story, but instead of everyone recognizing the main character's power, they basically were just like, what if they don't recognize his power? And now we have Wistoria. So to me, it's lazily written. And I think that's my biggest gripe with Wistoria as like a whole. Like, the animation's not the best, right? I mean, the characters are obviously Harry Potter inspired. And then the fact that on top of that, like the story is just like it's just a watered down version of his last work.
I don't know if it's so much watered down or it's tired, because watered down would be like assuming
it's the same
the same tropes, right? It's the same tropes, the same story in a different setting. Totally fine. Like, I get that. It's not watered down. It's just the same storyline told again, which is just tired.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And I think that it could have a lot more gusto with it and a lot more, like, I don't have any frame of reference really for like how strong these characters are, because we've only gone to the dungeon like 3 times. Not a lot of it has existed. Not a lot of the show has existed, and they're pulling stuff from the dungeon to bring to the real world. And it's like, or to the neutral world. It's just a very strange way to tell the story, because it doesn't give me the idea that the entire world is in peril, because these monsters aren't in the world. They're held into this dungeon by these monsters or these things that Will's killing now. And so it just seems, yes, jumbled. I wish that there was more to it, of course. I'm not like, I like Wistoria because, like, when I read the manga, I think it's dope as fuck. This show is not going to be One Piece, but if they actually tried, maybe they could have made it One Piece adjacent with travel. Like, the world of One Piece is so big, and Luffy affects so many different regions, islands, governments, and isolated situations while trying to be the Pirate King. Whereas Will, we only see him affect this very small area of what we know so far.
To basically sum up, like, what makes me mad about stuff, not even just like anime in general, just like any sort of like media, is that I don't think Wistoria is a 1. And I'm not sitting here also being like, well, they should have done this, this, and this, so it would be like better on like my scale or whatever. If I had to like boil this down, I don't like shows that break the immersion of the story, where if they have elements in the show or in the anime or in the art or whatever that makes me second guess the world that they have tried to envelop me in. Like, that is my biggest gripe, is when I feel like I watch something
this is a plot hole.
Yeah, it's so unreal, not even unrealistic. It's like there's just holes in the story where it's obvious that they're there, and it's shaking me out of being immersed in the story, in the world that you want me to be immersed in. So that's the most frustrating part for me. It's not like I hate the world of Wistoria. I hate the fact that you are writing it and adding stuff in such a way that is forcefully pulling me out of it. I just can't get into it because of how it's written. And I can't ignore those plot holes, right? Like, I can't cover my eyes and like pull the wool over and just pretend that they're not there. I don't think that's like a genuine way to consume something, is just pretend that the flaws like aren't there. Now, if there was a flaw, like, you could accept it and understand where it is and where it came from, and then maybe the flaw is actually a part of the charm of what the thing is. But there were too many flaws and too many holes for me to be like, this was either intentional and it adds to the charm of the show, or it was a mistake, but then it actually worked out in the end and it was great.